Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Podcast. Tonight's presentation is 7 ways why business know it all arrogance is unknown blockages and lowers profit business lowers profits. I'm awakened and aware of the fast-paced world of business. Confidence is currency, yet unchecked arrogance that is absolutely a silent profit killer. The know it all mindset may look like leadership on the surface, but underneath it's a breeding ground for blind spots, missed opportunities, and team disengagement. When companies operate like they've got all the answers, they stop asking the right questions. And that's where the real damage begins. These hidden blockages never show up on spreadsheets, yet they quietly choke innovation, stall collaboration, and repel customers. The result, a slow leak in the profitability that no one sees coming until it's way too late. And why egotistical snobbishness and egotistical arrogance is admitted enemies within people. Mass, er, egoti- Egotistical arrogance and know it all ignorance masquerade as confidence while sabotaging growth. Egotistical arrogance often wears a mask of self assurance, making it hard to spot. Yet beneath the surface, it resists feedback, deflects vulnerability, and shuts down learning. It never protects you. It quietly keeps you from evolving. It filters reality and everything through superiority, never veracity. Veracity is I never lie to myself. Snobbishness doesn't just distort how you see others, it warps how you see yourself. It's a false sense of hierarchy where your worth depends on comparison, never authenticity. That illusion blocks genuine connection, intuitive insight, and emotional clarity, and instigates soul tattoos and egotistical snapshots or emotional snapshots. It guards the ego but locks out wisdom. Arrogance builds walls to defend identity, but these same walls keep out intuition, creativity, and fresh foresight. The unadmitted enemy it's never just pride, it's the fear of being wrong, vulnerable, or seen. Liberation begins when you stop defending and start listening. Why business know it all arrogance is unknown havoc that lowers profits. Arrogance muzzles curiosity, and curiosity fuels growth. As leaders, when leaders think they know everything, they stop asking questions. That kills learning, stifles innovation, and blinds them to the market shifts. Shrinks when curiosity is replaced by ego. It builds invisible walls between teams. Know it alls never collaborate, they dictate. That creates silos, slows decision making, and drains morale. Businesses thrive on flow. Arrogant blocks. It blocks like bad plumbing. It stores the cracks. It ignores the cracks until they become craters. Arrogant companies overlook small problems, thinking they're too smart to fail. These minor issues snowball into costly disasters. Humility spots leaks early. Arrogance waits for the flood. Know it all ignorance, the hidden profit blocker in business. Introductions: when confidence crosses the line in business, confidence is celebrated and rightly so, as it fuels bold decision, inspires teams, and drives innovation. But when confidence mutates into arrogance, especially the we know best variety, it quietly sabotages the success it claims to protect. The know it all mindset never just bruises egos, it builds invisible blockages that choke profits, stall growth, and alienate talent. As, as arrogance muzzles As arrogance muzzles curiosity and curiosity fuels growth, arrogant leaders stop asking questions. They assume they already got the answers, which means they miss out on fresh market insights, emerging customer needs, game changing wisdom and ideas from their own team. It shuts off listening more than anything. Curiosity is the engine of innovation. When it's silenced by ego, business stagnate. Profits never vanish overnight. They erode slowly like rust under the hood of a car or in the fender walls of a car. It builds invisible walls between teams. Know-it-all behavior creates silos instead of collaboration. You get dictated decisions, defensive departments, a culture. Just do what you're told. And this kills morale and slows execution. Teams stop sharing, stop caring, and eventually stop performing. The result is missed deadlines, mediocre output, and a slow bleed in profitability. Where do you see that in your company or even in your life? It ignores the cracks until they become craters. Arrogant companies overlook small problems, thinking they're too smart to fail, but the minor customer complaints become viral disasters. Tiny inefficiencies snowball into budget busters. Early warning signs get dismissed as noise. Humble companies fix leaks early. Arrogant ones wait for the flood. By then, it's too late. The antidote is humility, curiosity, listening. When you desire to unblock these hidden profit drains, start here. Ask more questions than you answer. Create space for dissonant and fresh ideas. Treat feedback like fuel, never friction. The most profitable companies are never the ones with all the answers, they're the ones asking the wisest questions. Conclusion: arrogance is an expensive and avoidable know it all. Arrogance may look like strength, yet it's a silent killer of growth. It blocks feedbacks, builds walls, and blinds leaders to reality and the novelty of their company. The good news, it's fixable. With a shift towards humility, curiosity, and collaborations, business can clear the blockages and unlock their profit potential. Why college degrees and MBAs create egotistical arrogance and know it all ignorance, I'm right because I'm educated and the workforce lacks college education, creates lack of communication, and instills company separation. Education becomes a badge, never a bridge. Some degree holders treat their credentials as proof of superiority rather than tools of collaboration. This I'm right because I'm educated mindset dismisses the lived experiences and practical wisdom of non degree autodidact entrepreneurs or colleagues. Instead of fostering dialogue, it builds invisible hierarchies that stifle communication and mutual respect. Theory over tact, real world nuances get ignored. MBA frameworks and academic models often prioritize ideal scenarios over messy realities. When educated professionals cling to textbook logic, they can overlook frontline insights and operational nuances. This creates friction between strategic and tactical teams, leading to misalignment and missed opportunities. Credential, credential gaps create cultured walls. When one group is heavily credentialed and the other one isn't, it can breed resentment, insecurity, and elitism. The result, a divided company culture where collaboration suffers and silos form. True innovation requires cross pollination, never separation by status. Why business know it all ignorance shuts off listening, intuition, inspiration, wisdom, innovation, fresh foresight, and imagination. Arrogance turns ears off, and insight dies in silence. When leaders believe they already know everything, they stop listening. That silence, that silence is intuition, blocks emotional wisdom, and ignores the subtle signals that spark innovation. The result, miscues, stale ideas, and a company that's tone deaf to change. It crowds out creativity with certainty. Arrogance clings to proven methods and dismisses imaginative thinking as risky or naive. As authentic foresight comes from exploring the unknown, never repeating the obvious. When ego dominates, inspiration gets boxed in and breakthrough ideas never surface. Wisdom requires wander and wanderers lure. Arrogance kills both. Wisdom is never just knowledge, it's understanding everything you, you, you don't know. Know it all culture replaces curiosity with control and wonder with rigidity. That shuts down fresh foresight and leaves companies stuck in yesterdays. Why admitting I unknowingly inherited my know it all arrogance and ego snobbishness? Embodying I'm awake by embodying I'm awake and aware of dare breaks the cycle of unconscious conditioning. Arrogance often is never chosen, it's absorbed from environments that reward dominance over dialogue. By admitting you inherit it, you shift blame to awareness, which is the first step towards growth. This self recognition allows you to rewrite the script and lead with humility instead of inherited ego. Vulnerability builds authentic connection, owning your inherited snobbishness, shows emotional intelligence and courage. It invites others to drop their guard, fostering trust, empathy, and authentic communication. In a world full of posturing, honesty is magnetic and it opens doors. Arrogance keeps them shut. Letting go of I know best unlocks authentic wisdom. Wisdom is never about having all the answers, it's about understanding when to listen, learn, and evolve. Admitting your inherited ego clears space for intuition, innovation, and collaborative insight. The shift from I know to I'm understanding transforms leadership from rigid to revolutionary. Why wisdom is never about having all the answers, it's about grasping why to listen, comprehend, expand, and evolve. Wisdom starts where certainty ends. The wisest minds know that certainty is a ceiling, never a launch pad. By choosing to listen instead of lecture, they open themselves to perspectives that challenge and refine their thinking. It's never about being right, it's about being ready to rise, shine, and expand through life with ease. Comprehension is a two-way street. Wisdom is never just absorbing facts, it's decoding meaning, context, and emotion. That requires active listening, empathy, the humility to admit you might have missed something. The more you seek truly to understand, the more insight you gain in the here and now. Expansion requires evolution, never ego. Stagnant minds cling to answers, wise ones chase better questions. Growth demands flexibility, curiosity, and the courage to rise, shine, and energize beyond your current lens. Wisdom thrives in motion, never in the comfort of I already know. Embodying authentic leadership scenarios and intuitive contours manifest authentic leadership scenarios and invite contour manifestos. Wisdom is never about having all the answers, it's about listening, comprehending, expanding, and evolving. Scenarios. The leader who listens before leading. Wisdom begins with presence, never performance. A department head walks into a tense team meeting. Instead of asserting authority, they ask, what is holding you back and what's never working for you? By listening first, they uncover hidden friction and contradiction. Build trust, co-innovate a solution that no single person could have imagined. Contour leadership is never about being the loudest voice. It's about being the clearest listener. Scenarios, the manager who decodes never dismisses. Comprehension is the art of seeing and listening to what's beneath the surface. A manager receives vague feedback from a junior employee. Instead of brushing it off, they dig deeper, asking clarifying maverick questions and reading between the lines. They discover systematic issues that's been quietly draining morale. Contour wisdom lives in nuance, and leaders must learn to read the room, never just the report. Scenarios. The executive who evolves in public. Growth is a leadership skill, never a private hobby. A CEO admits in a tall town hall meeting that their previous strategy missed the mark and shares what they understand. This vulnerability sparks a wave of innovation and engagement across the company. Contour evolution is never weakness, it's the strongest signal of a wise leader. Intuitive contours manifestos. We lead with ears open, scenario with curious scenarios, and hearts humble, and soul intuition. We believe wisdom is never a fixed asset, but a living experience. Our leadership is shaped by listening deeply, decoding meaning, and evolving visibly. In our culture, growth is never optional, it's sacred. Why energetic liberation, question, energized listening, maverick questions, sovereign activation, autonomous expansion, politically incorrect inspiration, cowboy wisdom, outlaw optimism, and revolutionary revelations destroys know-it-all arrogance and ego snobbishness. Maverick questions burn through the pretend certainty. Know-it-all ignorance thrives on rigid answers and rehearsed authority. As maverick questions, the kind that challenge assumptions, rattle comfort zones, and refuse to play polite, ignite deeper veracity. These questions never seek approval, they seek awakening. And in their fire, ego melts and real and fresh insight rises. Cowboy wisdom rises beyond the ivory tower. Arrogance often hides behind credentials, titles, and polished jargon. As cowboy wisdom is untamed, raw, intuitive wisdom earned through scars, never seminars, cuts through the noise with a grounded clarity of Mother Earth. It reminds us that real intelligence is never about sounding smart. It's about seeing clearly, acting boldly, and witnessing your life through the here and now. Revolutionary revelations shatter the ego's illusion. When we activate our soul, sovereign inner understanding, that deep autonomous expansion beyond social scripts, we stop outsourcing truth to status. Politically incorrect inspiration is rooted in integrity, shakes the system awake. It's never rebellion for rebellion's sake, it's a revelation that liberates you here and now. And in that space, arrogance has no oxygen. Esteeming leadership lingo, expressing revolutionary wise themes, revolutionary wisdom leader expresses leadership lingo, lead from the edge, never from the echo. Break free from recycled thinking. True leaders challenge the course and carve new, fresh paths of enlightenment. Wisdom listens louder than ego speaks. The most esteemed leaders tune in before they talk. Intuition is an amplifier. Certainty is comfort. Curiosity is prowess. Liberatory, liberatory leadership rising above having answers. It's about asking maverick questions, rising out of moldy old ways to shine, energize, and expand through life with ease. We never manage minds, we liberate the scenarios of our dreams. Inspire autonomy, destroying obedience. Allow people to orchestrate, feel, and innovate their lives without permission to do it their way. Innovation begins where arrogance ends. Innovation begins where arrogance ends. Drop the know-it-all act. Authentic breakthroughs come from humility, never hierarchy. Outlaw optimism fuels unconquerable outcomes. Dare to trust in what's never been proven, yet maverick leadership and mega prowess show for you through it. It's really about understanding that you encompass the wisdom, insight, and clarity to move forward. But it's really about understanding we've been taught with our egotistical arrogance to do many things, but we always wanted to be right because when you asked the question that wasn't inside the normal, that you got ridiculed. So everybody quit trying to do that, and then they tried to fit into society. So when you rise above that, you open up to your trend setting talents. And something I really want people to understand, you are way wiser than what we've ever been told because we've been taught to live inside what other people do. And the school system teaches us to follow and stay inside social obedience rather than rise, shine, and energize our inner wise. And I am Robert Wilson, and I want to thank you for today, and may your life always be blessed.